Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hall of Awesomeness. I know, doesn't look much different than what you've already seen in my other videos, but they're still pouring the reinforced concrete, so hopefully by this time next year, the Hall of Awesomeness in all of its splendor will be ready. So what is the Hall of Awesomeness? Well, reviewers at the end of a year all seem to like to do their top 5, top 10, top 20 lists. And I wanted to do something just a little bit different here. For this inaugural episode of the Hall of Awesomeness, it's going to be an annual thing. Here are the criteria. These games that I'm about to show you briefly are in no particular order of importance. There's no 1 through 5 or 6 or 10. These are games that are inductees into the Hall of Awesomeness based solely on their own merits, one taking no precedence over the other. These are the games that would be the games that I would take with me to the desert island. These are the games that I would take with me into the underground zombie-proof bunker. These are the games that I think belong in any wargamer's collection, any gamer's collection. Ones that I just have fallen in love with and can't live without having on my shelf, and preferably on my table. So what is the criteria? The criteria is basically they have to be solo games, solitaire games, or at least solo friendly, that they can be enjoyed by one single player playing by themselves. Also, they have to be games that I have reviewed or at least rated on Board Game Geek within the past year. Now, for this inaugural episode, I will be making an exception. This channel didn't even start until October of 2013, so I included those games that I reviewed in those 3 months for inclusion in this year's inductees for consideration. And one last bit of criteria, and there's always a bit of controversy with any list like this, games that weren't included, that should have been included. But one last bit of criteria is the games inducted into the Hall of Awesomeness have to have that balance of enjoyability for the serious, regular gamer, but also have a level of accessibility for the novice or more casual gamer. There are games that I know you're going to notice that I raved about, that I have rated as a 10, that are not included on this list, and that's because that they're games that I feel would be more suitable for the more advanced gamer, the more experienced grognard, that probably would not be something I'd consider accessible to the novice player. So if there's games on here that aren't included on this list that you think should have been, it's probably because of accessibility. So that's what the Hall of Awesomeness is all about. Gosh, that's about it. It's mainly war games, but it's not restricted to any particular genre. Stay tuned and we'll get started. Okay, let's kick it off. The first game I'm going to share as an inductee is actually a 2-player game, but is extremely friendly for solitaire play. It's Hold the Line by Worthington Games, and it's designed by Grant and Mike Wiley and Matt Birchfield. 13 battles of the American Revolution. What I really love about this game is, first of all, it's very friendly to solo play. A lot of fun for the solitaire player. The random action point dice rolls that you will take for each side in this game mean that there will always be a slight fog of war element, so that even though you know what you want to do, you may not always know what you'll be able to do. It's got great introductory rules, simple movement, line of sight rules, simple combat rules that are simple without being simplistic. Plenty of meat and potatoes here for the experienced wargamer, but also a game that you could sit down with a casual gamer and teach them the rules in probably 15 minutes, and before you know it, you're fighting battles, you're having a blast. You add on the French and Indian War expansion set, that adds another 5 battles for a total of 18 battles. Those are the scenarios that come with Hold the Line and the expansion. Now, the other great thing about this game is replayability is simply off the scale. It uses a blank mounted game board and then modular terrain tiles to set up each scenario. So even if you've played out all the scenarios, you can create your own battlefields. There's no end to the replayability you have with this game. Just great, straightforward mechanics. Great for both the experienced gamer and the novice. I love Hold the Line. It's got great components. This is a box full of fun right here. Typical Worthington playability. Love this game. Hold the Line needs to be in your collection. So this is going to be our first inductee into the Hall of Awesomeness. Okay, next up. This next game, if I did have a game of the year, this one would probably be it. I was wild about it in my review. I remain wild about this game. It was the giveaway of my first subscriber drawing, where I gave away a free copy of this game. And it is The Hunters, German U-Boats at War. It's designed by Greg Smith and published by Consim Press. This game has you selecting a U-boat, selecting the beginning year of your career, and naming your U-boat captain. And you will take off into the North Atlantic, stalking the convoys that are feeding the British Empire, starving them into submission. Lots of action, tons of narrative. Every step of this game oozes theme. You will become attached to your U-boat commander and the crew. This game just puts you there. It's got risk-reward type decision making throughout the game. You're constantly making crucial decisions. Combat is a bit more abstract, but that actually works to the game's benefit, in my opinion. I mean, you can select whether or not to approach from close range or long range, take that long range shot, or try to attack on the surface at night. It just puts you there in the conning tower of that U-boat. The game is tense throughout, and what's beautiful about this game is that you don't have to sit down and play out an entire career in one sitting. Each career is broken up into patrols, and a single patrol can play in 30 minutes or less. This game's got a really small footprint, so it's fairly quick to set up and take down. So if you're just looking for a quick gaming session, you want to run a patrol of the Hunters and further your U-boat commander's career, you can do that. Set up the game, play a game in 30 minutes or less, and put it away. And then the next time you're ready to continue, you can just pick up right where you left off. This is a beautifully designed game. It's currently out in its second edition. It's a reprint. This game was wildly popular, as it deserves to be. There is a companion to this game focusing on American submarines in the Pacific. The Hunters still has legs. Great, great, great game. So this definitely has earned its status in the Hall of Awesomeness. So that's the Hunters, German U-boats at war. Get it. Okay, next up is an entry from DVG. It may actually be my all-time favorite DVG game. Designed by Dan Versen, Field Commander Napoleon. This game was, and in my opinion still is, the absolute pinnacle of the Commander series. Words that I could use to describe this game: epic, sweeping, grand, one of the best war movies you'll ever watch. Absolutely beautiful components, 7 mounted, beautiful maps that are very thematic, 11 of Napoleon's greatest campaigns, a battle order system that for this game I refer to as, well, not battle plans, but battle orders. The combat is abstracted, but it captures that 18th, early 19th century linear style of combat perfectly. And the battle orders, you actually issue orders to individual units of troops. It's probably one of the most brilliant solitaire mechanics I've ever even heard of, let alone played. This is one that I still go back to. You can play each campaign separately, and if you want, there are also rules to link the campaigns together, and you can play out your entire weekend-long grand Napoleonic adventure. It really puts you into the shoes of Napoleon. You've got sweeping cavalry charges, bold infantry maneuvers. You've got artillery bombarding the enemy from the rear. You've got attacks on mobile forces, entrenched positions. It just beautiful, simple, clean supply rules. This game, if you're looking for a grand strategic style game on Napoleonic warfare, whether solitaire or not, in my opinion, this is the one to get. Beautifully crafted, clearly a labor of love on the part of Dan Versen. I can't speak highly enough of Field Commander Napoleon. Just a beautiful war game. Engaging, fun. It will challenge you. It will pump you up. An outstanding war game. Love it. So that's Field Commander Napoleon from DVG. Okay, well, next up may come as a bit of a surprise to some of you. And here it is. Surprise! Dawn of the Zeds by Victory Point Games. Now I know what some of you out there are thinking. Wait a minute, Derek, you didn't do a video review of this game. What are you doing? How is this going to be in the Hall of Awesomeness? You're right. I didn't do a video review of this game. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, there's been a ton of video done on this game by other reviewers. There are some terrific game playthroughs that are done by my good friend Stuka Joe, by Kalismar, the Lonesome Gamer. There is absolutely no good thing that I could say about this game that hasn't already been said many times over by several other great reviewers and makers of videos. Dawn of the Zeds. Oh, and the second reason is because when I've got Dawn of the Zeds on my table, honestly, I go into selfish jerk mode. I don't want to share. I don't want to mess around with a video camera. I just want to turn over that next event card and see what happens next. I want to roll dice. I want to kill zombies. So, Dawn of the Zeds is in Victory Point Games' States of Siege system, and in my opinion, it is one of the best States of Siege games in that entire series. And I love States of Siege. Dawn of the Zeds is designed by the evil genius, Herman Luttman. Man, this game will just, for lack of a better word, no pun intended, this game will devour you. It is constantly tense. There is resource management. There is combat. There is suspense. There's two modes of play. You've got the standard mode of play, where you're defending your little town against the onslaught of zombies during the zombie apocalypse. And then there's an even more, I don't know, sadistic mode that features a mad scientist and his evil assistant who will spread the zombie virus and breed super zombies. Dawn of the Zeds is just a brilliant game. This is one of my guilty pleasure games when I'm not playing a historical war game. Beautiful mechanics, wonderfully thematic. The event cards that drive this game are both well written and hilariously tongue-in-cheek. So in addition to a great, tense, involved zombie war game, you're going to have a lot of laughs with this as well. If you buy any game in the States of Siege series, and every one that I've ever played has been really, really good, Dawn of the Zeds should be one that you consider. It definitely belongs in your collection. Love it. Oh, and there's an expansion out for it now as well. I'll probably be getting my hands on that sometime real soon. So, Dawn of the Zeds from Victory Point Games and designed by Herman Luttman. Get it. I don't always play zombie games, but when I do, it is Dawn of the Zeds. All right, everybody, next up, sticking with the guilty pleasures one more time. And listen up, Grognards, you wanna stick around for this. We've got Mage Knight board game, designed by Vladish Vatil and published by WizKids. Make no mistake, this is no light little fantasy game that you play with your friends for a couple hours and put it away. No, this is one of the most brilliant solitaire games out there. I believe in my review I even made the comment that I believe the designer, honestly, I believe the designer probably had solitaire play in mind when he designed this, as opposed to the cooperative scenarios included in this game. You are one of 4 powerful Mage Knights venturing forth into a strange land. Your mission is to explore and conquer. It's got a really sandbox style of play to it. You can be anything you want. You can be the good guy, saving villagers from evil monsters. You can be the bad guy, burning down the monastery and robbing it of powerful ancient relics. It's got a real... all of your actions, everything you do is controlled by cards. You have a hand of cards that control everything from your movement, attacking, casting magic spells, recruiting additional units to be your own personal entourage. It's such a tactically thick game. I think this game would really appeal to the average wargamer out there. Even if you're not a fan of the fantasy theme, the gameplay on this is so rich, so tactically deep, in such a wide open, ever-changing world that springs to life around you. Very immersive, incredibly fun, mind-bending choices that you have to make with every turn. Just simply one of my favorite solitaire games when I need a break from making the world safe for democracy. I go to Mage Knight. Just a brilliant, brilliant game. The Lost Legion expansion that is also available for this game just adds even more to what's already here. As if this game wasn't already complete. I mean, you wouldn't think after playing this that you would ever need anything added to it. But this, I can't speak highly enough of Mage Knight. Just a great, great game. Really. Grognards, check out my video review of this game. There's definitely aspects of this game that I think are going to appeal to wargamers. Again, that's Mage Knight board game from Vladish Vatil and published by WizKids. Brilliant, brilliant achievement in board gaming. Just wonderful. All right, everybody. I know there's at least a few of you out there, Hal, I know you're watching, who are probably getting ready to throw tomatoes and rotten vegetables at your screen right now. There is one more final inductee, our sixth and final inductee into the Hall of Awesomeness for 2014. And remember, these aren't in order of best to worst. These are inductees worthy of being installed into the Hall of Awesomeness, all in their own right. Our sixth and final inductee into the Hall of Awesomeness this year is another DVG game, Thunderbolt Apache Leader, published by DVG and designed by Dan Verson. If Field Commander Napoleon is a Rolls-Royce, then this is a Porsche. This game is, I believe I called it, a blockbuster action movie in a box. You purchase your pilots. You're in control of a squadron of aircraft in a variety of conflicts around the world. Purchase your pilots. Purchase your aircraft. You got the A-10 Warthog. You got the F-16. You've got the Apache attack helicopter. You've got Predator attack drones. You've got just all kinds of weapons, missiles, bombs, all kinds of cool explodey stuff to equip your planes with. Fly missions for each campaign. With each mission, your aircraft are going to accumulate stress, damage. Your pilots are going to accumulate stress. The whole time you're trying to keep flying missions, keep trying to get closer to victory, all while managing this squadron of pilots and aircraft that are gradually starting to degrade over long periods of use in combat. Each tactical situation is its own little war game. Just a brilliant coming together of gameplay, components, theme, action, tension. One of Dan Verson's best games. This is still the current flag bearer of the Leader series, and this is one that belongs in your collection. All these games I've talked about today belong in your collection, but yeah, this is our final inductee for 2014, Thunderbolt Apache Leader by DVG. Thank you everyone for watching my videos over this past year. I hope you've enjoyed watching them as much as I've enjoyed making them. I can't wait for the rest of 2015 got some great stuff coming. But yeah, I'll be posting links in the video description for my full reviews of all of these games. I'll also be creating a geek list over on Board Game Geek, where I will open it up for you to make entries for your own nominations for the Hall of Awesomeness for the coming year. So that's going to be it, everybody. Boy, just some great games this past year. I've been loving it. Anyway, that's going to be it for now, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, happy gaming.